Hello everybody and welcome back to another trip report. Today I'm here at Darwin International Airport in the Northern Territory. Today I'm going to be flying QantasLink or Alliance, whatever you want to call it, from here in Darwin down to Canberra in the Australian Capital Territory. It's very hot out there, so nice to be inside in the air-conditioned terminal. Looks like once you enter, here's the Air North check-in. This is Air North's hub. They operate quite a lot of flights to regional NT and WA from here. Here's the Jetstar check-in, but doesn't look like there's much action going on there. And here's our Qantas check-in. By the way, I forgot to mention earlier, today we're going to be flying on board a Qantas Embraer E190 that is operated by Airlines. I'll explain a little bit more about that later, but for now, let's have a look at check-in. Here with Qantas, you only have the option of self-check-in and bag drop, unless you're going on an international flight, like the QF 351, which is going to Dili in Timor-Leste. So let's go over to one of these kiosks and check in. Alright, so check-in is now completed. There's only kind of 2 or 3 desks for people that don't have priority. If you do have priority, then there's another 2 desks. So it's quite busy because of that, because it's kind of one of the 2 peak hour times here at Darwin Airport. There was a lady there to help you if you needed it. I'm sure some people find it helpful. However, I didn't really need help, so it was a little bit annoying. But I'm just trying to help, so that's alright. Anyways, now time to head through security. Alright, security is now completed. It seems pretty automated. It's not the most automated, but it does a pretty good job. Once again, it's kind of busy at the moment, but it's not too bad. Now that we're up here airside at Darwin, I've been to Darwin Airport before, except for when I arrived, which was at 3 a.m, so I kind of don't know it very well. But there looks to be not a whole lot of windows, which I don't love the idea of. However, there's still lots of seating and there's lots of tourist shops, and I'm pretty sure there's places to eat around the place as well. But my destination in the airport for today is this sign, the Airline Lounges, to be specific, the Qantas Club here in Darwin. So let's go down this way and check it out. The Qantas Lounge seems to be down here, kind of near gate 4. There's a little bar here called The Palms, so if you want a drink then you might be able to get it there, because it actually has tarmac views over the very red dirt or whatever out there. Here's the Qantas Club. You'll have access to it with Qantas Club, Gold, Platinum, Platinum 1, or if you're travelling in business class. And Gold and Platinum also equals one with Sapphire or Emerald, so if you have that with another airline, you're allowed in as well. So let's go in and check it out. Welcome to the Darwin Qantas Club. I managed to find myself a spot with some views over there. Let's go and have a look at what this lounge has to offer, food-wise. There's a pancake machine here first up, which they're probably going to get rid of soon since breakfast is finished. Here's some muffins, a nice looking chocolate cake, some spreads and apples. There's a toaster. Here you have all of this. You can pause and read. Then we have some rice, curry of sorts, dumplings, steamed pork dumplings, I think. This actually looks pretty delicious. Bao buns. I kind of wish that Sydney and Melbourne had this kind of a lounge food offering. I think that's soy sauce. Soup of sorts. Bread for the toaster. This is like a toasty maker. Whatever that is. Some cold meats. and all of this kind of stuff to make a nice cold meat and cucumber and cheese or whatever platter. There's also a salad. Here you also have a couple of different juices. Looks like tomato juice, apple juice and orange juice. There's also a bar which opens after 12 p.m. Overall, as I said, I wish that the Melbourne and Sydney Qantas clubs had these kind of delicious food offerings. So overall, I give the Qantas club here in Darwin a big thumbs up. But I'll let you know how it is once I've spent a bit of time here and tasted the food. It's now 11 minutes prior to boarding. I've enjoyed my time here at the Qantas Club very much. I'll summarise in just a minute. I'm actually heading to the gate a little early because, well, firstly because I want to figure out what plane my plane is, and secondly because Qantas rush boardings, and thirdly because I got a notification on the app about 5 minutes ago, almost 20 minutes early, saying that we were boarding, so I don't know what's going on. But to summarise my time in the Darwin Qantas Club, I was actually really impressed with it. I thought that the food offerings were slightly better than Melbourne and Sydney. Seating options were equivalent, and the views were nice. So overall, I would highly recommend the Darwin Qantas Club. It does actually say that we are now boarding, but it didn't in the lounge. It would appear that we have like a gate where we have to walk a fair bit. So let's go down here and board. It says we're boarding, but we are very clearly not just yet. By the way, a little bit of information about the Embraer 190 and Airlines and Qantas and their sort of partnership. So basically, today we're going to be flying on a Alliance operated aircraft. So Alliance owns the aircraft, have the crew and pilots. However, it's a Qantas cabin, I think Qantas uniform and Qantas service, and it's also sold by Qantas. That's what they call a wet lease, I believe. As it's probably one of these two planes, though I'm not sure which one, in fact a lot of the Qantas/Alliance Embraer 190s are now painted in the QantasLink livery, but there's still a few left in the Alliance. So I'm interested to see what the service is like today. So I guess we'll wait a few minutes and then start boarding and figure out what plane ours is. Quickly, the gate agent just told me that this is our plane for today. Victor Hotel, X-Ray Victor Tango. It's a 2007 built Embraer 190 AR. There's also known as the Embraer 190-100. If you know anything more about Embraers, let me know in the comment section. But this will be my ride down to Canberra. This is in the QantasLink livery. It's operated by Airlines, and it went through a number of airlines previously, including American Airlines and US Airways, before coming to Alliance/Qantas in late 2022.
Thank you.
By the way, Alliance itself has, I believe, 30-something Embraer 190s, but I think they're going to get another 30 or so coming from a range of different airlines, including American Airlines and Copa Airlines. I believe currently about 15 of them are operating for Qantas, a couple for Air North, and a couple occasionally for Virgin Australia.
Hello buddy, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
So Lee, you're going to be sitting on the left side of the aircraft,
Yep.
okay?
Welcome on board the Qantas Embraer 190. Seats in business class are in a 2-1 layout and economy is in a 2-2 layout. Business class is spread across 3 rows, by the way. This is not what I've seen on the other videos and photos. In fact, it's better. My seat for today will be 20F, with a nice view of the wing. Welcome on board the QantasLink Embraer 190, as I'll be referring it to for the rest of this video. Now let's go through the seat features. First up, I would like to say this is most certainly not the cabin I expected. Every video and every photo that I've looked at, I don't think I've looked at all of them, but I've looked at a lot, have shown sort of like an old fabric, blue fabric type seat, which you've probably seen in other videos. But, oh well, I guess it's exciting to be as far as I'm aware, the first to review this kind of seat. Anyways, now let's go through the seat features. Legroom on this aircraft, there's no information online about it, however my estimate is 79 centimetres or 31 inches, which for a regional jet is pretty good. Better than the Qantas 737, but not by much. Now let's continue with the seat features. So in the seat back pocket, there's a QantasLink Embraer 190 safety card, a seat bag and a Qantas magazine. There's also a fair bit of space to put your stuff in there. As for the tray table, you can pull it down like this. It looks like this doubles up as maybe a coat hook. Maybe not, I'm not sure. This is a massive tray table. This is bigger than most other domestic aircraft. It's in a fixed position, but it's so big that it kind of works. It's also curved like this for anyone with a big belly like me. Also, up here there's the overhead air vents, which definitely show signs of age. There's individual reading lights, a flight attendant call button, and the air vents, as I said. It's very cold in this cabin, actually. There's a nice view of the winglet, which is painted with the Qantas livery. And lastly, there's a headrest, which is not adjustable, but it's there. It's very firm, I assume since it's new, but it's also comfy.
Cabin today is Adam. Your captain is Benjamin Coe, and our other captain is Todd Van Guest. We would like to welcome back your Qantas and One-World frequent flyers along with your Qantas Business We Want members on this QantasLink flights to Canberra. It is great to have you with us today. Please place larger bags in the overhead lockers and smaller bags under the seats in front of you. If you are seated at a bulkhead or exit row, all cabin baggage needs to be stored in the bulkhead lockers. If there's no space to store your bags, please bring them to the front of the aircraft so they can be checked in. It's great to have you with us today.
Alright, so as I was saying, the very last thing is there's a headrest which is there. It's not adjustable, however, as I said, it's there nonetheless, and I'm pretty short, so it works well for me. There's also double seat back padding, which is very much appreciated. However, the seat does, as I said, still feel very firm, but that should loosen up. Overall, I'm positively surprised and impressed with the QantasLink Embraer 190, keeping in mind that I'm quite sure that, in fact I know that not all of the aircraft are fitted with this cabin, but check out maybe Jaden Wong's videos on the other Embraer 190.
Please give us your full attention for an important safety briefing. Every aircraft is different, so it's important to pay attention, even if you have flown with us before. Today, you're flying on a QantasLink E190. Your seatbelt must now be firmly fastened. Tighten by pulling this strap, and to release, simply lift the clasp on the buckle. Seatbelts must be fastened whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. The rear of the cabin, and 2 exits in the forward cabin. Ceiling-mounted and floor-level strip lighting will illuminate in the event of an emergency, including the brace position and operation of life jackets. Please take a moment now to read this card.
Hello everyone, if oxygen is required, you must remove your face mask before putting on the oxygen mask that will drop from above you.
Now time for pushback. We're going to taxi past the runway and then to the left to get to the end of the runway for takeoff. If you know why those little ramp looking things are there, I know there's a military base here in Darwin. If you know why they're there, or if it's for military reasons, let me know in the comments. Now time for takeoff.
Fasten whenever you are seated. Please remain in seat as much as possible and do not change seats. Today the main cabin will be serving lunch with a selection of drinks. For your comfort on today's flight, if you are in the main cabin between rows 4 and 25, you will find the toilet in the rear of the aircraft. Once again, it's a pleasure having you on board.
We are now up here at our cruising altitude, cruising over the Australian outback. The very friendly cabin crew just came around to hand out the lunch service. So I would just best describe this as a light meal. So in here we have Thai green curry. So here's the Thai green curry. Looks pretty tasty. I'll let you know how it tastes in a little bit. I also got some orange juice and a white tea. Upon request, they also handed me some of these crackers, or actually I think they'd probably be better described as Delight's rice snacks. So overall, I'd say that for a flight of 4 hours, this is what I'd expect from Qantas at the very, maybe not at the very least, but this is just a solid meal service from a full service premium airline like Qantas. Still cruising over the beautiful Australian outback with lots of salt lakes in the background. Just finished what I'm going to have of the curry. It's actually a pork mince and eggplant. I'm not a big eggplant fan. I don't mind pork when it's right, but overall, I'd give this meal a solid 5 or 6 out of 10. It did the job, that's for sure. And it tasted alright, but it wasn't particularly special. And for the reason that I had food earlier in the lounge, and I actually have a connecting flight to Melbourne, I will not be finishing that. There also was the option of a cauliflower curry, but I wasn't told that until I actually asked. And then just here, the chips are also pretty nice. So I'm not 100% sure, but either these chips or the other curry, the cauliflower curry, would be the vegetarian option. Overall, a solid but not particularly impressive meal service from Qantas. The orange juice was good as usual. Haven't tried the tea just yet. Now experiencing a little bit of turbulence. Very quickly after the meal service finished, the cabin crew just came around to do the first round of rubbish collection.
About 260 kilometres to the west of Mount Isa. At this stage, expecting their arrival into Canberra this evening at 10 minutes past 6. At this stage, around about 20 minutes ahead of schedule. Expecting northerly winds, temperatures around 10 degrees. And maybe a little bit of scattered cloud about. Is forecast possible some weather later this evening from about 10 p.m. onwards. If nothing else changes, you won't hear again from me. And on behalf of Qantas, just like to thank you for flying us this afternoon.
Okay, we're still up here at our cruising altitude. I think it's now about, in fact it's practically exactly 2 hours into the flight. About an hour after the meal service, the very friendly cabin crew just came around to hand out a service of cheese and crackers, which I really wasn't expecting. I kind of hoped but didn't expect that there'd be chocolates or something. But this is, for some people, depending on what you feel like, equally as good. So, as I said, they just came around with like a tub of these and started handing it out to anyone who wanted some, including me. So this is basically just tasty cheddar cheese and crackers. I've had them before and I can tell you that it's basic but pretty delicious. So I'm very happy with that from Qantas. It's also been very bumpy for the last 15 minutes or so. There's been not enough bumps for the whole flight. They're not big ones though, so I don't mind at all. Hello and welcome to the Airline / QantasLink Embraer 190 loo. Now let's go through the loo. So it's a different loo to what you'll find on the 737, that's for sure. It's quite a lot of space to stretch out like that, but there's still not much space for your legs. But it's definitely a little bit more spacious than the 737, I reckon. You've got Qantas branded soap. Basic, good size, not massive though, waste bin, and tissues and stuff. Also, there's a cookbook. Makes a different noise, sorry, turbulence. Oh, and a baby change table. It's very turbulent on today's flight. Anyways, that's about it for the loo. It's a pretty solid loo. Better than what I expected for the Embraer 190. The cabin crew just walked past, and so I asked for some water. He very kindly gave it to me. The crew have been super attentive and have done everything that I could expect them to do to make this an enjoyable flight. We should be getting to enjoy the sunset soon.
We haven't heard of any reports from any other aircraft, but just for your safety, you have got the seatbelt sign on now. So if you could all return your seats if you aren't there, keep your seatbelt fastened. That would be much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, so the sun is now setting, and he said that we should put our seatbelts on because there's probably going to be a bit of turbulence, but it seems like there's none so far, though there was a lot earlier. So should be landing in Darwin in about 45 minutes. Enjoy the sunset time lapse. So I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. Sorry about me taking photos. That was kind of a last minute decision to do that, so I'll try and figure it out better if I'm going to do it in the future. But yeah, the sun has almost fully set. For a while there were no lights on in the cabin, but they've now been turned on, albeit not all of them, because we'll be landing in Canberra probably in about 20 minutes.
Okay, so please return to allocated seat. It is now time to put on laptop computers and other light device away, and make sure your bags are in the overhead lockers. Oh, and it is in front of you. If you're seated at the book head or exit row, our bags must be placed in the overhead lockers. Please, place your seats and tray table back to the original position. Make sure your window shade is up and your seatbelt fastened.
I do apologise, however, I just realised I have not shown you the Inflight entertainment. I'm not going to go on it in detail because it's kind of the same on all Qantas flights, but I will go through it in brief detail. So, there's no free Wi-Fi like on the 737s, however, if you connect to the Qantas Entertainment Wi-Fi network, you can't use the internet, but you can then use the Qantas Entertainment app. So on here you'll find quite a few movies of lots of different sorts. There isn't really a lack of movies, as you can see. There's not heaps, but there's definitely enough. So it's pretty good, you know. I actually came here not expecting I wasn't sure actually if there was going to be anything here. And the in-flight map is not working. I think the spoilers are on. But yeah, the in-flight map isn't working. There's audiobooks and TV. Do apologise, however, I do have to go now since we're about to land. But in conclusion, except for the map not working, which is a bit annoying, I think it's actually a really good streaming device entertainment system, and I'm pretty happy with it here aboard the QantasLink Embraer E190. This is a bit different. I'm not entirely sure why, however, it feels a lot like we're taxiing fast on the ground. It's kind of bumping about like that and making those kind of noises. I think right about now is as good a time as any to start concluding today's trip report, since I have no idea how far we are from the ground. My journey today started at Darwin International Airport, where I found the check-in process to be pretty easy. However, though they're different to Melbourne, Sydney and Adelaide from my experience, you still can't actually print your boarding passes or check in at the kiosk. It's bag print only. You couldn't actually go to a desk for economy class, not even with priority, which I wasn't expecting, unless you were travelling internationally, obviously. And there was a lady there who was a little bit too eager to help, but I guess that's not such a bad thing. Then security was alright, and when we were through, the Qantas Club was very surprising. I had an amazing time there, and I would highly recommend it. I prefer it in a lot of ways to the Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide and Brisbane lounges. Then once we were on board, well, the boarding process actually was alright. We were getting very mixed signals as to if we were boarding, because it said we were boarding on the app and on the flight board, but not the flight board in the lounge or the actual board at the gate. So I don't know what was going on there because we weren't actually boarding. But once we were on board, I was pleasantly surprised to see that on some of Qantas's aircraft, clearly they have a new configuration, and it's a lot comfier as far as I'm aware compared to what the other one looks like. So that was nice. And as for the seats, I'm really happy with the seats. They're wide, they're comfy, and there's lots of padding. The only thing is that the headrest isn't adjustable, but I wouldn't expect that from a regional jet. What I would have liked, not necessarily expected for a 4-hour flight, is a USB port at the very least. I wasn't expecting anything more, or a USB port, though I do hope that Qantas just opt to install some USB ports for long flights like this. And as for the meal service, it was good in it. Like, the main service was average, the food was average. There was a large selection of drinks, very large actually. But I was very pleasantly surprised to see that the incredible crew came around to serve apples and cheese and biscuits. So overall, thanks to the crew's generosity, I would give the meal service a thumbs up. A big thumbs up actually, considering the little extras. And just the crew going above and beyond. As for the cabin temperature was really cold on the ground, and now it's a little bit hot, so that could be improved upon, but it's not too bad. And overall, I had a great flight here on board QantasLink/Alliance. I would highly recommend the Embraer 190 on this route, not that you have any choice, but if you are on a route where you have a choice between the Embraer 190 and 737, it depends. If you don't, for a short flight, definitely Embraer 190 in my opinion. For a longer flight, simply because of the charging situation, especially with someone who takes lots of photos and videos and stuff like me, I would probably go for the 737. I'll leave the rest up to you. As for this route, there is no competition, it's QantasLink only. I believe the seasonal service runs in peak times in April and then through June to September. Correct me if I'm wrong on that though. Anyways, as I said, overall I had a great flight on QantasLink. So anyways, enjoy the landing.
Welcome to Canberra. QantasLink would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the local lands and waterways on which we live, work and fly. We pay your respects to the elder past, present and emerging. Please remain seated with the seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is off. Today we'll be exiting throughout the forward door, so please mind your steps as you exit the aircraft. QantasLink and one word, thank you for choosing to fly with us. If you're visiting Canberra, we hope you enjoy your stay. And of course, for those returning, welcome home.
Cabin crew, disarm doors and cross-check. Thank you.
Thank you.
so
See
much,
ya.
buddy. See you next time.
Yep, bye-bye. Alright, so welcome to Canberra. I do like the glass jet bridges that they have here and in Adelaide. I think now's as good a time as any to finish up today's video. Hello. So first of all, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video. A like and subscription, if you enjoyed, would be very much appreciated, but it's not necessary nor expected. It'd just be nice if you'd like to help me out and you wouldn't mind doing so. Of course, if you don't enjoy the content, then you don't need to subscribe. Also, check out my website if you like at aviation763.com for information on upcoming flights and easier navigation to certain airlines trip reports. Also, check out my Instagram at aviation763_ for some cool photos and some live updates on my flights like today. I even do some stuff in my destination which you might like as well. And last but most certainly not least, thank you to all my incredible Patreons who help to make these videos possible. Your support is so much appreciated, and I couldn't do what I do without them, so thank everyone who's on screen and all my Patreons so much for that. Once again, thank you all for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one.
Welcome to Canberra. QantasLink would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the local lands and waterways on which we live, work and